The lions in the jungle. Sometimes I stay awake, listening for the lions in the jungle. Of late they have been reticent. I imagine they must be wearing slippers. I search the yard for paw prints. Each morning nothing. It is a puzzle. I know little of their sex life. I expect they sleep around like other creatures of the night. My wife has been missing 3 years. I think the lions in the jungle ate her. I can't be certain. She didn't leave a note, just popping out for a bite. The lions in the jungle make me feel secure. When you have them to fear, it is pointless fearing people. The neighbours pretend not to have heard of the lions. What lions, they exclaim, this is city, not jungle. I am certain they are mad, or just ordinary folk scared of their own shadows. So scared of the lions they refuse to acknowledge their existence. You and I know different, do we not? We take precautions to keep the lions on our side, or at least at bay. An ornamental pool of milk, compost bins full of fish, fresh deer hanging on spits, bonfires to keep the lions warm. I invite them round for dinner. They are shy, poor dears, but in the morning the food is always gone. I am certain the neighbours are mad. They say it is just kids, but you and I know different, do we not? You and I have counted the long blonde hairs in the damp grass, noted the occasional article of underclothing playfully stolen from washing lines by irreverent cubs and left behind, mused over fattened patches of grass where the big lions have evidently rolled in play. You and I know what the lions in the jungle get up to. Such horrid, perverse creatures, no respect for their betters. They forget who built the jungle, who designed these concrete trees. I am certain the neighbours are mad. They say it is a city like any other. They say it is not jungle. They refuse to believe in lions. They simply refuse to share our fears. Selfish lot. You and I know better, do we not? This is a love poem called Waiting for Kareena, and it's about two people meeting on a summer's afternoon to have a lover's tryst. And it was written 2,500 years ago by Ovid as part of Amoris. But then in 1583, Christopher Marlowe did a new version, and more recently Guy Lee wrote a version in 1968 for the swinging 60s, and I felt it was about time we had another version for the 21st century. So this is Waiting for Kareena. Waiting for you, Kareena, that summer afternoon, window half open, casting a lazy light, like the hour after sunset, dawn's first kiss, the half-light shy girls need to hide their fears. So you came, Kareena, fresh air in a short dress, waterfall of hair flecking the palest neck, lovely as all your lovers say, a princess stealing in. I lifted your dress, you wriggled fish-like, a slim brown trout torn between the river, your own desire. You paused, lovely beyond compare, naked, glistening, nipples granting me permission, breasts high above your brown stomach, tiny waist, old enough thighs. Why say more? You stepped toward me. Later we slept, no regrets. Where now such summers, where such sex? This is a poem called For Rachel Corrie, and Rachel Corrie was a young American woman who joined the International Solidarity Movement, and she went to Gaza to help the Palestinians, and while she was standing in front of a Palestinian home about to be demolished, she was killed by an Israeli Defense Force bulldozer. And this is Rachel Corrie. She could be anybody's friend, anybody's sister, anybody's daughter. Because you were just 23 and brilliantly unafraid, I loved you. Because you loved Palestine and I loved Palestine, I loved you. Because you wrote quirky poetry about Dairy Queen and I'm not familiar with that scene, I loved you. Because you stood between the bulldozers and the homes of the poor, I loved you. Because you accepted people and they accepted you, I loved you. Because you lived among those whose lives and welfare were completely strangled, I loved you. Because you spoke up for them and sacrificed your life for them, I loved you. Because when you were 10, you dreamed to stop hunger by the year 2000, I loved you. Because you looked into the future and saw the light that shines, I loved you. Because you believed we're all the same inside, I loved you. Because you worried you would have nightmares when you returned from Palestine and feel guilty for not being there, I loved you. Because you were as rare as a Monday morning when everyone dances on their way to work. We've all been saying how good the beer is here. So we'll be back, if only for that reason. Last summer I went to Havana and I visited John Lennon Park John Lennon. And as you walk in there, you find a bench with a bronze statue of John Lennon on the bench. And a moment or two later, a park ranger emerges from behind the shrubbery and he's got John Lennon's glasses. And he invites you to put them on the statue if you want a picture with John Lennon. And I thought, probably only in Cuba could someone get employment just to be the keeper of John Lennon's glasses. So I wrote this. Out of the shade steps the keeper of John Lennon's glasses, slips them over the ex-Beatles' bronze ears. I shove up next to the great man, put my arm around his shoulders, made too warm by the heat of the sun. You capture the moment when I meet John Lennon's likeness in Havana, a life-size casting on a bench, one leg draped casually over the other. I attempt to swap specs, but the keeper wags his finger. I take a moment to bless John for his life in my life. I place a coin in the keeper's palm in recognition of the sacred task he has been anointed so to do. It's not every day you meet the keeper of John Lennon's glasses. Let me take you down. I was on a plane coming back from Amsterdam to London, and the girl sitting next to me, who was Dutch, offered me a biscuit. So this is Biscuit Girl from Amsterdam. Would you like a biscuit? Said the girl sitting next to me on the plane from Amsterdam. Her teeth so white, I think she must eat only apples. I appreciatively take one, crunch away. They are like our English biscuit. The hobnob, I say. Her eyes widen. The hobnob? Those white teeth again, as she digests this important information. We call them country cookies, she says at last. Isn't that funny, I think? Hobnob sounds much Dutcher than country cookies. She is on her way to Nepal, where neither hobnobs nor country cookies can easily be found. Instead, she will digest the thrill of exploring fresh lands, a world experienced through young senses, opening like a giant lotus hobnob in any flavour you like. Okay, just before I read my last poem of the night, I'm going to take a sip of beer. and talk to you about the Dandy comic. It's in the Guinness Book of Records. Longest continuous publication of any comic since 1936. And when I was growing up, I read the Dandy, and my favourite character in Dandy was Black Bob. So here's Black Bob. Okay, so this is Black Bob here, and this very little figure up here is a shepherd called Andrew. And Black Bob and Andrew had wonderful adventures chasing sheep smugglers and rum smugglers and all sorts of villains around the Scottish Highlands. I'm not sure who that bitch is. First time I went to the Scottish Highlands, I was looking out across the brown hills, the green hills with the purple heathery stuff on top. Had a feeling I'd been there before, although I knew I hadn't. As I looked at this landscape, I realised what I was looking at was Black Bob country. This is Black Bob country. You can see him if you look hard, out there, tail fierce against the wind, rounding his sheep, regarding Shepherd Andrew with real dog love. Black Bob, just a dog. Never a one for the whiskey, though there are 150 to choose from in this neck of the woods. Never a one for the whiskey, just fierce and brave and loyal. I could smell your sleek, damp, Atlantic swept coat right through the pages of the Dandy. Black Bob, Black Bob, you put your nose to the wind, another adventure began. Here, Bob, 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 Bob. Bob, 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 Bob. I chased you through childhood, never caught up. You were wild and fierce, and just much nicer than Batman.